Hey everyone, my name is Josh, and this is a Minecraft any% set seed speedrun. The seed was there. It's different from the old seed, but it will be in the description. Anyway, the main goal I had in this run was to re-optimize the route completely to match up to what the random seed runs have been doing, and that is in Minecraft version 1.3.1 villager trading was added, and the clerics can trade you Eye of Enders, which means that we can now play in the more current versions like 1.8.1, which have more improved crafting, and just in general the game runs better. So at the start here we're going to get wood, and in the blacksmith chest we have apples, iron, gold, and obsidian, which is absolutely everything we need to do the entire run. Right from the start we're going to start duplicating these items. Duplication in this works by dropping the items on the ground, saving and quitting to the title, then re-entering the world, picking up the items again, and then force quitting the game with Alt F4 on Windows. I'm not actually sure what the command is on Mac, but doing this will make the game save your inventory, but it won't save the level, so the items will end up in your inventory twice. So anyway, after doing this twice, we will then have enough gold to trade with the cleric. Now the cleric has 3 levels of trades. The first level in 1.8 always has gold and rotten flesh, so you need to trade gold to him once. Then the next level has lapis and redstone, which is fairly useless, but you do need to make a trade there once. And the final level of trades, or the only one that we care about, is the one that has the ender eyes. Anyway, right here, I'm just making armor, some basic tools, and some shears. We need to then get flint, which is very fast, so that's for flint and steel. Despite this giving us Eye of Enders immediately, we do need to go to the nether in this seed, because the stronghold is very far away. Anyway, right here, this is going to be pretty bad. We make our flint and steel so we can go to the nether, but I'm going to mess up with the inventory here, lose a lot of time, but it's not too important. What this really means though is that this time is very improvable, and in fact I'm going to add into the end of the video an extra clip of actually getting to the end in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. This run goes there in I think 3:54, so it's a little bit slower, but that means we have at least 25 seconds at the minimum to improve this, and really a lot more because the end isn't super fast. It's good, but it's definitely could be better. Anyway, we now have duplicated our wool, emeralds, gold, obsidian, and wood. The wool is important for beds, which are going to be the main way to kill the ender dragon. And the obsidian will make our nether portals, obviously, both for going into the nether and out of the nether, and I'm also going to use it as a block in the end for building and to shield myself from explosions from the bed. And we need 32 emeralds to move forward with this. Or not 32. Once we hit 16, we're going to trade 1 with the cleric for a piece of lapis to unlock his Eye of Ender trade. So right here, I think the cleric actually gets away from us. Yeah, the cleric's running away there. So I'm going to need to chase him down. But that's okay. He doesn't run too far. You can see him right there on the screen. And now that we have our 16 emeralds, we can trade one of these emeralds for a lapis, or for lapis lazuli, and then make our next, or get ready for our next trade. The other villager that's important for this run, and the one that is really hard to find, or really the main point of RNG in the village, is the fletcher. Now the fletcher gives you arrows and a bow, which is extremely important for taking out crystals in the end. And unlike the cleric, every villager of the fletcher's color is not necessarily a fletcher. They can be fletchers, farmers, shepherds, or fishermen. There are 4 of them in this village, so we have a pretty good chance of getting a fletcher, since each one has a quarter chance to be a fletcher, if I understand the probabilities correctly, which I may not. But it's about that. In most runs I do get a fletcher, but sometimes you don't get the fletcher as quickly as you want to. But anyway, we just took 3 Eye of Enders from that villager. There's probably a better way to do that, and it might be smarter to just do the trades immediately with that villager and only start with 1 Eye of Ender and just duplicate it. But I choose to do that. I'm not sure if it's faster. I haven't been playing around with this seed too much. Anyway, we're going to go to the crafting table now. We need to make our beds, which we have enough wool for 10. And we're also going to make golden apples, which are definitely the best source of food for this. The best thing about golden apples now is that they give you the 2 absorption hearts, which lets you tank damage from the beds. By the way, I have trouble seeing the difference between the colors of the armorers and these villagers, which are the ones I need. So I clicked on an armorer there. He's not right. He'll never be a fletcher. But the first one's a farmer. I'm actually going to have a really hard time finding a fletcher here. The second one's also a fisherman. These villagers are also very spread out. This segment can go a lot faster. And there's a fletcher. I actually took a second to notice what it was. So we get him on the 3rd. I'm not sure what happened with the emeralds there. I thought I tossed them, but I guess I didn't the first time. Anyway, we now have 12 Eye of Enders, which is enough to go to the end. The portal has exactly 12 open spaces in this seed, or the portal I'm going to go to. And we now have enough food to really last us all the way. Mess up a little bit there, click on multiplayer. We have arrows, or a few arrows. I'm going to get the rest of the arrows here. The fletcher also gives us a bow, and I can just click there to get a lot of arrows. I have a full stack of arrows, which should be enough with a good end. And now I'm just going to make my portal. There's also a pink sheep up there. I know those are supposed to be rare, but there's one for you. So anyway, I clicked off screen there to let the world load in. It's going to load in right there. The time into the nether is 3:01. That's pretty bad, actually, for what I've been doing. But the rest of the run makes up for it. But most of that time was in finding the fletcher and messing up with my inventory. I actually cleared that lava there. Minecraft has bad collision detection with fluids, but I did actually clear that so I didn't get caught on fire. I get caught on fire a lot there. I'm not very good at jumping that, even though it's only 1 block wide. But anyway, we come here. There are 3 strongholds in the world. This is the one I've found that it's easiest to get to, and this nether portal also spawns us in a fantastic location that means we don't have to dig down very far. So that's one of the things I really liked about this seed. And I've tested a lot of other seeds with this strategy, but they didn't work out nearly as well. So anyway, 3:36 is our time out of the nether. That's faster than the world record with the old seed actually gets into the nether. So that's pretty much the big benefit to this seed. So anyway, here we are right in the end. It was right under that ravine pretty much, so we can go straight to the end with a time of 3:54:60. So now the next thing we have to do is fight the end. For those of you who don't know, the dragon fight in Minecraft 1.8 is pretty much like it is in 1.2.5 or 1.2.4. You have to take out crystals to destroy or to beat the ender dragon, or because the crystals regen the ender dragon's health. There was one way off to the left and at the back of the island over there. I decided not to go for that because it's out of the way and it would take a lot of time to get there. I'm not sure if that was a good decision or not, but my thought process there was that the ender dragon won't be recovering enough health from it to actually make it worth it to take that out, and the ender dragon's probably not going to be over there very often. So anyway, this is a really good end, other than that one crystal that's way out of the way. But all I need to do is take out that, and all the other crystals are now done, and we're still sub 5 minutes. So that's something that's really good and a huge improvement over what the old route could do. So anyway, at this point, our goal is now to kill the dragon. The easiest way to kill the dragon is to deal explosive damage to it. But I messed up there. I wasn't in good position for when the dragon came down, so I wasn't ready to blow it up with that bad. I was ready for that one though, and I got off a decent amount of damage. So then pretty much the rest of the run is just waiting for the dragon to come by. You want to put, I put the obsidian blocks in front of me because for some reason it seems that the beds deal more damage to you than they did in the past. I think that was a change in update 1.4 maybe, when they changed creeper explosion damage. That might actually have to do with the fact that I'm on hardcore difficulty. I'm not sure if that happens as much on lower difficulties, but I'm not actually sure. Anyway, the Ender Dragon's on very low health now after the first 3 beds, and we just need to get one more hit to kill it. The decision to not blow up that crystal was probably a good one, but he did recover a little health from it earlier in the battle, so I'm not sure. I don't think it was enough health that he would have been dead by now, but at this point I'm just going to be shooting the dragon and hoping he comes for us. He disappears a little bit behind these pillars, and once I see him coming for me, I blow him up. Then all that's left is to go through the portal. Time ends once we go through the portal. And I jump in, and we have a 6:51:20. Now the timer used here is an in-game timer. It counts the ticks that occur in the game. There are 20 ticks in a second, and then it gives you a time based on that. I'll leave a link to where you can download that for both 1.2.4 and 1.8.1 in the description. And the reason that we use the in-game timer instead of real time is because of the duplications and how much time is spent outside of the game. And it gives players with less powerful computers that can't load the game as well, or it keeps them from having a disadvantage. Anyway, most of the inspiration for this route came from Illumina and FearfulFerret, and I'll link both of their channels and their Twitches in the description. Both of them have been running random seed a lot recently, and the route for random seed involves going to a village and getting the Eye of Enders from there. Obviously in that route they can't go to the nether because they don't know exactly where to go to get to the stronghold. But that record is now under 10 minutes, which is incredible. So I'll definitely link that video in the description. But that was a huge inspiration for the route here. I like this route a lot better than the old route, mostly because pretty much every single run gets to the end, which is something that in the old route I got to the end maybe 1 out of every 4 or 5 times, because just sometimes you don't get arrows, or the flint takes forever, or you die in the nether, or you don't get blaze rods really for a long time. So generally the runs were dead before they even made it to the end. Getting to the end is very important because the more runs you get to the end, the better chance you have of eventually getting through the RNG of the Ender Dragon and eventually getting a good run. The end is the biggest point of RNG in any Minecraft run, because the crystals can spawn in different ways, but no matter what, if you get there, you have a chance. So anyway, hopefully, I think that's everything I need to say. At the end of this, I am going to include a clip of a much better path to the end. I'm probably not going to commentate it. But anyway, thank you for watching, and have a good day.